It's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for the Walking Dead spin-off Dead City. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an interview that Lauren Cohan, who of course plays Maggie, did and what she said to tease the show. And there's something very interesting in what she said that I feel like would be directly connected to something that happened in the last few episodes of The Walking Dead's original show when it comes to the Maggie character and her key weakness at this point. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. So this is the interview that Lauren Cohan did with, I think, Entertainment Weekly, where she talked a little bit about what to expect from Dead City and how it might potentially connect to some of the things that we saw as far as character development goes for Maggie in the original series. She says, speaking to Entertainment Weekly, we end up picking up in New York at the bottom of a really unexpected mountain, where maybe things have gone well for a period of time. But we're back at this challenge, just like these challenges that always seem to keep cropping up. So far, I think what she's saying is that they're going to end up somewhere that appears to be a safe haven, just like Alexandria seemed to be, just like Commonwealth seemed to be. I think that she's saying we're going to see the same kind of thing again, but there's always challenges that come with a potential safe haven that you might find yourself in during the apocalyptic world of The Walking Dead. Now, there's something to be said here about the possibility of this feeling like a repetitive story and the story feeling like it's recycled. So obviously there's that aspect of things as well to consider. But she continues saying nothing is through rose-colored glasses, because the thing that comes up, it's like, so we overcame this obstacle of the Commonwealth and these things. That doesn't mean life is easy just because you quashed one enemy. And the enemy is this moving target. It's always the enemy within. So obviously, again, seems to be a theme where there's a human threat, there's an enemy that they have to deal with to get to the next thing. You know what I mean? And when it says it's the enemy within, I think she's maybe referring to herself. I think what she's saying, and this comes up later in the interview, but I think what she's saying is that she has to battle the enemy within herself or overcome the weakness inside of herself to be able to move on. But then the article goes to say there's going to be a time jump for a few years between the shows, and whatever inciting incident is that caused things to go wrong for Maggie will be explored throughout the spin-off. That means obviously we're going to see a time jump of a few years after the finale episode, but they're going to tell us what really happened and what forced Negan and Maggie to leave in flashbacks, and they're not just going to tell us as the story goes at the beginning. The other thing that also isn't confirmed is we don't know exactly whether the 1 year time jump that we saw in the finale is part of this or not. And what I mean by that is whether Negan and Maggie were back at Commonwealth during that time and they left after, just like Daryl did, or whether they left after a short period of time, after the events of the finale that led to the downfall of the Commonwealth itself, with Pamela being imprisoned. In another part of the interview, Cohan goes to say, when we go into the new show, Maggie's greatest weakness is definitely exploited. Now, here's what I think she means by that. I think what she means by Maggie's greatest weakness is her desire to not be able to move on and not be able to see Negan as an ally. I know they had the heart-to-heart in the final episode, but at the same time, I feel like that's something that's never going to be able to go away. The tension, the conflict between the two characters because of the history that they have, because of their past. And it's definitely realistic for that to be the case. It'll be unorganic and it would feel off for them to just hit it off and be buddy buddies. You know what I mean? So it's definitely great to hear that they're not gonna force that in for Maggie and Negan to be able to just work together seamlessly, because it would feel unnatural. And I think when she says it'll be exploited, it means that maybe either Negan is gonna use that as leverage for something, or people who meet them, who learn about their past, are gonna use that against them to make them not trust each other and make them become enemies again, which would obviously be to the advantage or in favor of those that are actually the enemy. And then she goes on to say sometimes it's not the big things that are the hard things, it's the little things. And those little things become very, very big things because they are our own blind spots and they are our own greatest weakness. Not much to say there. I mean, it just kind of follows what I just said about Maggie's potential weakness that we might kind of see again in the spin-off. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.